New York City, right now as we speak, has the worst air quality in the whole world. As much as I love Dwayne Wade, as much as I love Gabrielle Union, to be honest, I wish they both would just take care of their family, take care of their business, and shut up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? How are you doing out there? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. I'm your host, Lee Black, on this Wednesday evening. So hopefully you're having a good week. I've been away and I'm glad to be home. I got to tell you that. But I'm glad to actually be able to come in tonight and have hopefully a good conversation as we always do. If this is your very first time tuning in, whether you're watching live or in person, just know that we appreciate your support. And on Wednesdays, we tend to have a little bit more serious conversation, and we'll try to do that today. Before I get into the topic, let me bring on my co-host, Tasha Mack from Memphis, Tennessee. What up, Nick Mack?
What's going on, Black? How are you?
I'm doing actually good today. My first day back at work, so it wasn't overwhelming. So I survived. How about yourself? How are you doing?
Oh, just counting the days till glory calls me home.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm glad you spent a little bit of your time with us. I see I
Yeah.
got my brother waiting in the wings. I haven't seen my brother in a minute. What's going on, brother Kendrick? How you doing?
What's going on, brother Black? What's up, Tasha? How you all doing this evening?
Man, I'm
Okay,
doing
Kenny.
good. How are you, my brother? How's life treating you?
Man, hey man, it's just one day at a time, brother. That's all we can do.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah,
up. And
yeah.
that's even appropriate to say that because uh people don't last forever. So for those of you who don't know,
Mhm.
I was out on a little hiatus dealing with the funeral, but back in full swing, support my family doing what I do. And so I want to appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. I know the show's been a little lopsided here and there. This has been a tough year. I'm just honestly hoping to end it. And I know for you, Brother Kenny, that's an understatement, but we've all had some losses, Tasha included.
Mm-hmm.
I told Tasha this last night. I'm just hoping at this stage that I can close out this year on some kind of a positive note. I don't need anything else to
Amen.
happen.
Amen, brother. We gonna speak that into the
you,
universe right
you
now.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am so serious. So,
Amen.
look,
Yeah.
this show, I thank you for riding with us. We're part of the TFG family. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. You can find me directly on YouTube and Facebook under Real Talk for Real Men. But we are a part of a much bigger happening, which is the TFG family. So you can find me under the TFG banner under Ratchet, you know. And so we're going to get into some raw commentary, share some raw views and opinions, but it's always coming from a place of love. And we got the super fan already
Yes,
joining us,
Lord.
Miss Toria Williams. Good to be back, Miss Toria. And Cuzzo, who I seen in New York.
What up,
Good to
T?
have you, Terrence, as always. So we appreciate you for always being supportive, popping in. So guess what we're talking about tonight, folks? Let's go on and get to it. I was sitting in the airport, and of course, I'm just researching topics, always looking to come across something that kind of jumps out at me. And this topic popped out: why I'm still single. And I thought it was appropriate because I get asked that a lot, especially now that we're heading into full-fledged cuffing season. Is starting to get cold and temps. And for those of you who don't know, I just left the funeral, and in my younger hunting days, funerals used to be a really good hunting ground for me to find some pussy. But this time I was on a different vibe. I was there. I was just in a different capacity. But even there, the conversation, and it's been happening a lot of different functions. I've been going to real and virtue where people have been discussing relationships. And of course, that's the backbone of Real Talk for Real Men. So before we kind of get into it, and I want to share with you guys, there is a host of others that feel like they're in the same boat as we are. And what was amazing to me, it was young, it was older ones, it was men, it was women, different races. So I found a little bit of comfort in knowing that there's a lot more people out there that, in many ways, for whatever their own individual reasons, are feeling in the same, or in at least the same spot, maybe for different reasons, but they were able to articulate why they are single. But before we get into reasons, and we're going to have some fun and go down these rabbit holes and just discuss them as we do. But I want to ask you two both, because y'all are both single as well. Do you get tired of people asking why you're single or when you're going to find somebody or even trying to fix you up? Is that a thing with you?
For me, I go first, Tasha. People don't even ask me that. People don't ask me if I'm single. People don't really ask me about my romantic relationships because I really don't advertise that I'm single. If you go to my social media platforms, you wouldn't know if I was single or I was in a relationship because I don't talk about dating. I don't talk about if I'm seeing someone. So that question is never asked of me.
Gotcha. Even, let me ask you this, Brother Kenny, even with close friends or family members who might know, do they ever venture there with, hey, you ever think you're going to settle down again to get married? You ever get that?
They don't know. Family, close friends, they don't really even broach that with me. They know I'm kind of picky too. So that's kind of why they don't really even go there.
Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. What about you, Tasha? What's your experience with this thing called singlehood?
I don't know. I'm so over people. I'm just over people. So when the topic does get brought up, like if I am, like around family or somebody who doesn't know me, like of course my parents don't ask me, my brothers don't ask me. But like if I'm around like other family or something and they ask, like are you single? Like yeah, but I'm not I'm intentionally single, and that's the way that I explain it to them.
Okay.
I'm not looking. So no, so definitely no, I don't do like the whole like recommendation or I think you would go well with this person. No, I wouldn't go well. And I'll tell them like, no, I wouldn't go well with them. I don't even have to meet them. No, I wouldn't go well because I'm not looking.
Gotcha.
So, and I don't, I don't necessarily like, I'm not advertising it. So strangers like out like like meeting people like out or whatever, of course the topic just never comes up because I don't ever give it a chance to come up. So
I gotcha. You may do a better job than me then, because for me it continues to come up, and I don't know if I'm giving off some kind of a vibe that one way or the other. I don't know if on one end of the pendulum I look lonely and desperate or on the other end of the pendulum I look like somebody that you should be fixing up. That I really don't know, but I do get it.
I think for you though, I think one factor is like how, you're so extroverted in ways that and so maybe that's why it's easier for it to come up like, like, oh, as they get to know you, like, why is he single? Like, why would he be single? And then, maybe that's when they're like, well, let me help you meet somebody. Sometimes some people in relationships can sometimes take on their single friends and think that it's up to them to set them up with somebody.
Right.
I like that. I like, and that, and I really I appreciate that, because again, like you, Tasha, I'm not actively looking, but Tasha and we have this conversation, and we just talked about this last night. While I'm not actively looking, I want to say I'm open, but the more I looked at these reasons, I'm starting to question whether I'm really even available. And that's that's crazy, Mark. So we're going to get into some of these, and I'd love to hear your comments, because I'm personalizing all of them, just so you know. I'm putting this in front of me and giving myself an honest assessment if I fall into some of these categories, because maybe that will even explain why I am still single. So the very first one I kind of want to jump into, and we'll try to get through it as much as we can. And with us just three, we should be able to cover them all, I hope. The first one that popped up was, I just don't know how to put myself out there anymore. And somebody made the comments, they said, I'm starting to suspect it has something to do with the fact that I never leave the house. I do leave the house to go to the gym, go to mass, grocery store. Maybe I'm just not putting myself out there, mainly because I have no idea what that means. Do you guys is this a factor for you in terms of maybe why you're single?
I would say for me, definitely yes. Um, and I would say the pandemic, and I always say that it's kind of changed the way you do things. You single people, man, we were locked up and closed in the house for so long. We kind of got used to this virtual thing, what we're doing now, and so that's kind of the norm. But if you really want to seek companionship, you really have to step outside. You got to go outside. You got to go places. Ain't nobody gonna come knocking at your door and say, "Hey, hey, can we go out?" It don't work like that. So you do.
Amazon will.
Y'all don't know how good, Tasha. You don't know how apropos your answer is, because that's going to come up. You had that
Yeah.
and I'm so glad, Brother Kenny, you even went there with it, because it's so true. I know for me, Tasha, I don't mean to cut you off or whatever, but
go ahead.
it's just really so true in the sense that since the pandemic, I've kind of maintained a steady regimen where I go out on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Truly. Today was my Wednesday. Like routine, I run out and I go get my lottery tickets and I get back in, but I don't go far on Wednesdays. It's just a quick here, there, the other. But on Saturdays, any long errands I have to run. But to your point, Brother Kenny, I don't know how to even put myself out there in the market anymore ever since COVID happened and we've worked in this virtual world. What's going on, Sister Hannah and
Hey,
Brother
y'all.
Bert? Good to have you.
Hey, what's up, Hannah? How
You know,
you doing?
Work not coming. I didn't get a chance to change it.
That's all right. No, baby, where you are, he's there too. So absolutely. So appreciate you popping in. We're talking about why I'm still single. And the first one that popped up is I just don't know how to put myself out there anymore. So Tasha, you was going somewhere with, you said Amazon. I'll explain that.
No, I'm saying it in the sense that for some people, they're like, yeah, like you don't ever leave the house. Me, I leave the house 1 day a week. 1 day. That's it.
Wow.
And when I do leave, it's for very, very specific purposes. So I'm usually like in a rush. I'm very focused on what I'm doing. I'm not interested in having a conversation with anybody. So yeah, somebody may not come. I know you have to be out and putting yourself out there if you truly want to, meet somebody. But hey, if somebody is going to come to your door and knock, it is going to be Amazon, because you can just order anything that you need, really.
Well,
They're gonna
Tasha,
they're gonna have people on there
Hey.
pretty soon, okay?
Hey, all right. Well, let me know when they start. You can order a woman off of Amazon. I damn sure will be the first one in line.
It's so crazy because again, that my relationship, I'm gonna get to that's actually gonna come up later. But Sister Hannah, what do you think about this? For people, I know you're one of the fortunate. You found somebody, but for those of us that are single, and this is one of the reasons why I think we just don't put ourselves out there. What's been your experience with this, with maybe single friends you have? Do you find that this is a reason why they're single?
Oh, I'll speak for me. If I didn't meet Bert at work, I would have been single because I was working home.
Wow.
Work at home. I would go out every now and then, but I was I'll be honest. I was divorced and I was in my I'm a bitch era. So I'll be honest. I can speak for myself.
Right.
So nobody
Right.
was talk to me anyway because I was on my get away from me. But you do, like, I have one of my closest friends. I won't say how close because then I'm putting the business out there. But they are still single because they work from home, they stay home, they don't want to get out. So people can knock on your door, like you said, Amazon, delivery, Grubhub, whatever you want. But you can't make yourself available sitting inside your room. Like, I always know, like, if I was looking, the times I did start looking, the corporate happy hour was always a good thing.
Wow. And I'm so glad you said it again. So I know that for sure this is one of the contributing factors, because Tasha goes out 1 day a week. I go out 2 days a week, like clockwork, and it's just a part of my routine. So I know that in many ways, this is certainly not creating opportunities. I can say it that way. Hello, Carol. Carol,
Hey, how you doing,
good to
Carol?
see you. Miss Toria says, Kenny, Amazon has female drivers.
Okay.
See, this is what I
Thank
was
you,
gonna
Miss
say about
Tori.
Amazon. Somebody tag Jeff Bezos in this, because if they added a feature on Amazon to show you other people who bought this product, like the same product as you, I think that could open up some doors. Like recommending people to you like they recommend products.
Open up some creeks too.
That's
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
See other people who bought the same products as you. I think that'd be like a nice little category.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting idea. Now I live in apartment living. The other people that come, not on a regular basis, but when I get maintenance people, unfortunately, every time I have any slight thing go wrong, the maintenance
Don't.
guy that comes to see me is a little
Don't.
sissy. So I can't do
Don't.
anything
You know
with
what?
you.
Don't. I already
I
knew
was
where this was
nice,
going.
and I
Don't.
said it really nice.
I knew it was going there.
But I said it really, really nice. You know what I'm saying?
That was the
So,
nice.
unless I wanted my dick sucked, there's very little I could do with him. You know what I'm just
Oh,
saying?
Wow.
Whoa.
Jesus.
we 16. We made it
I said,
16 minutes.
Are we in?
I'm just saying. Paige, welcome, sweetheart. It
What's
is what
going
it
on,
is.
Paige?
Oh, and having Paige is a young woman, and she's single. And Paige, I look at your Facebook profile sometime, and you talk about the fact that you're single and you're waiting on the right person. So I'm glad to have you in this conversation. The reason number 2, it simply said self-sabotage. I want to ask you guys, the audience, viewers included, do you find that you have self-sabotage being in a relationship? And be honest.
I can actually say I did do that 3 years ago. I did it because I wasn't willing. I'm not. It was. I didn't really want to open up to this particular person. I don't know why. I just felt like I couldn't open up to her. So I kind of just.
Okay.
I did sabotage it. I did. So it was my fault.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Tasha popped off camera till she come back. This one was one that I was surprised that made the list. But if I'm going to be completely honest, it's very, very true. I have sabotaged relationships before out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, out of fear. And I'll tell one instance in particular. And I remember when I first moved here to Atlanta. And this one is a serious one for me in the sense that Tasha knows this. I have an ex-girlfriend that I was still in love with for a long, long time. And part of me thought we would find our way back to each other at some point. But I kept telling myself, well, I got to get to this level before I feel like I'm ready to approach her. Now,
I've been there.
For me, it was, and a lot of it was because I thinking about the past where I had my shit together, this, that, and the other. And I went through this rocky period where my shit wasn't together. So I had always kind of planted the seed in my head that when I get back to this level, whatever that is, when I get to this level where I feel adequate to be able to go and resume and be that guy again. And what was crazy was that I even had people say, well, what are you waiting on? She's still single. You're single. And years went by. And I sat and I thought about the fact that I wonder had I maybe acted, and this is just one example of this, but I wonder had I acted maybe sometimes before instead of being hesitant because I was waiting on myself. So I sabotaged an opportunity because I didn't feel like I was ready. And I really had to think about that one for me, and of course I've done it on smaller levels as well, where if somebody falls too falls too hard, too fast for me, it scares the shit out of me.
Mm.
You know, that's just me. You know, Tasha, you know, any comments on this one about self-sabotaging as a reason for why you might still be single?
I honestly don't think that I self-sabotage like when it comes to relationships. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Now unless we're going to say, I think about like the last relationship that I was in and how, it was just one of those things like I wasn't just, yeah, I don't know, like I just didn't feel like that we should have been together. Just, like unless you
I got
consider that sabotaging, but I mean, like we were together for like 2 years, but I
right.
just, I don't know, I don't think I was fully invested in it. Like I had
I
other things like in my mind, like I just wasn't where, to your point, I wasn't where I wanted to be, like as far as like my career and everything, but that was more just some other things like had my focus. So.
absolutely, absolutely. Hannah, any comments on this one? Self-sabotage?
I have self sabotage. Um, I tried to. Well, someone tried to date me maybe a year after my divorce, and I knew I wasn't mentally ready because I knew
Mm-hmm.
the sign I was in. So I probably shouldn't even entertain that.
Right.
Or I could have got myself in that mind, but I wasn't ready. So I just completely was wrong. So yeah, I have had self sabotage.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna jump on to number 3 where it talks about simply lack of trying. Someone said in this one, I don't go out of my way to meet people. Also, putting myself out there like that scares the shit out of me and mentally drains me, which we just talked about. Tasha, go.
Guilty. Lack of trying. I don't try. I'm the first one to admit it. I don't try. I'm not mean, but I don't try. But to be fair, that's like with any that's like men or women. Like meeting new people, I just don't try.
What about you, brother Kenny?
That's I don't have an issue with. I mean, I've always been able to have a conversation. I was always been able to, meet women or whatever and just have conversation. But as far as just like giving them a full court press, you know what I mean? Just like really going in, man. I hadn't done that. It's been years. I don't even really try to do that anymore. Real talk. I don't know why.
I'm so glad, brother, you said giving them the full court press because that's part where I want to comment on the difference between me now and what it used to be. Paige says, I don't try. I just rather avoid the disappointment. I don't have the energy for trial and errors. Oh, and I'm so glad you
I
said
agree.
that.
Same
I'm
here.
so glad you said that, little
Mhm.
Paige, a little bit. Because Kenny, as a man, we're supposed to naturally be the predator, right?
Right.
And supposed to chase.
Right.
What do you think has happened? Before I say what I'm going to say, what do you think has happened that, and I'm going to put myself in, there was a time when trying that was like breathing. Of course I tried,
Mm-hmm. Right.
there used to be a point where, and Tasha can remember this, them good old days when, you remember when you was going out somewhere and when every woman that passed you, you grabbed her arm.
Oh, you can't.
You touched
Oh
her arm.
man.
Now
Oh,
I know we live in a different era. That's where I want to go with this. But even if the touching part, Tasha knows this from the day when you saw a woman in the street, you bust that U-turn. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
was always trying.
Right.
What has happened? What has happened that we don't even try anymore?
In my opinion, from a man's perspective, it's too many do's and don'ts in the damn way you're supposed to meet women. I see women all the time say, "Don't be jumping in my inbox." Well, damn, if I'm interested, where am I supposed to jump? If we on social media or if I'm out? If just like you said, if you even touch a woman and say, "Hey, can I talk?" You can't touch them. The Me Too movement that changed all that. So as a man that's single, when you really trying to go out and meet, hell, you don't even know what the hell to do. So you don't do anything.
Absolutely. Tasha, I know you got something to say, and I want you to go right after this. You know, there was an incident just the other day at the funeral. After the funeral, we had the repast. I guess that's what you call it.
Right.
You know, so my family, we're there. Me and my boys are there, whatnot. You know, my nephews and whatnot. So quite, quite natural. I don't want to get nobody in trouble, so I'm gonna be careful here. But let me just paint a picture this way. There came a point where, the music was on and we were eating. And of course, now it's kind of a little time for a little bit of revelry. Usually have good luck with funerals because after somebody dies, people want to fuck to feel alive. Okay, so I'm waiting on that moment. Have a little perfect seat sitting there. The liquor had started to come, this, that, and the other. And there now for the record, folks, there wasn't that many good looking. This was like a true ghetto affair. Oh my God bless your situation. But these are some of the roughest ghetto looking motherfuckers you ever wanted to see. New York rough too. That old broken bottle on a corner type bitches in there. But okay. There was 4 or 5 that was halfway worth looking. So okay. But here's the thing, get on point. The effort to your point, Paige, the effort it would have taken, the energy to go up and walk. And I was literally told by my sister, no, I was told this by my niece, and I'm not putting her out there, but she literally had a conversation about this. And she said, well, New York women like aggressive men. You got to come at them with aggressiveness. And she was just telling me matter of factly about, how it really was. And this one for me, lack of trying, Paige, Hannah, Tasha, I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to get up, to trot my fat ass across a room, to speak to some ratchet face bitch that I really just wanted head from the hole anyway. The pussy was all taut as all get out. It was all hot, musty in it anyway. But I really don't have the energy to be going there for the disappointment because I didn't want to have to curse somebody out. Yes, Paige, at a funeral. So Terrence said that's a true statement. As Tori said, no, I'm just being brutally honest.
Thank
Tasha,
you. What?
Tasha, I know you got some shit to say. What?
No. I was just gonna say this as you were talking about and saying like how you used to approach women. Me in my head, because it's 2023, I know what the woman's response is to break that down as to why it's unacceptable. Like if you reach out and grab me, I know the response is like, why the fuck you touching me? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like why are you touching me? If you pull, like if you do a U-turn in traffic, are you trying to sex traffic me? So I already know like women are on they are on high alert, they are on guard even more so now. So that's all I want to say.
Please add some context to this, Miss Hannah, because the game has changed.
It has. I'll say this though. I'm from Philly, so you couldn't grab us either, even then. Forget
really?
Then yeah, because Philly is not as rough as New York, but men was coming off really, really aggressive. And the moment you said no, they cussing you out after they followed you in their car for 5 blocks.
Okay, but Hannah, hold on for a second. I'm not talking about physically grabbing you. I mean, like
was grabbing.
Right. No, so I'm not referring to that. I was never a grabber, but I'm talking about if you standing in a sports bar, you in a club, and a woman walking by and you lightly reach out and tap her elbow. I'm not even talking disrespectful. I'm just talking about, hey, what's up, sweetheart? You can't do that no more.
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
My son is 17. He tried to date. He need to stop dating, first of all. I need him to chill. However, he tried to date one girl and she told him, first of all, she told him, I see what type of sneakers you have on and I see what type of stuff you have. So what can you do for me? So my son and I have this relationship. I tell him he can tell me stuff. Sometimes he tells me too much. I don't want to know, but I appreciate that he know he could tell me whatever. So I was explaining to him, You are 17. You do not have to pay nobody's bills. They have parents. But the mentality of you in high school thinking that a 17-year-old pay a phone bill of yours is crazy. So I understand why sometimes men can't approach, because I don't even know the mindsets of some of these people. I saw on TikTok this girl got upset because a man ordered a Starbucks drink. Like, you can't. I'm like, what can men do nowadays?
Right.
Like,
and that's
you
why I've
can't
given
order
up trying.
Starbucks?
And
Like,
that's a big one for me. I've given up trying. Like
I see.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweetie.
No, so I see why. Because if I'm not a man, but the women now, the way I see them on the social media, I don't understand how men are able to even approach, because it's just,
I don't.
it's ridiculous.
We don't know how.
We don't know that this is a
don't.
big one here.
You're
and,
right.
and a lot of us are giving up trying. Okay, like even in this affair, what did I have on? I had on a black shirt. Funerals are different now, even the way you dress. So I had on like a black t-shirt and just a black dress shirt over some jeans. So I was, casual, dressy kind of whatever. I wasn't gonna wear no suit or shit like that. But having said that, what you're talking about is not just with young. I know I'm being sized up because I don't have on the right kind of sneakers or shoes. I've never owned a pair of Jordans in my life. So if I'm trotting across that room and they're looking at, I'm just wearing this common shirt with common jeans and none of it's fashionable. My jeans didn't have any kind of buckles and rhinestones on them, nothing to indicate that it was whatever the jeans that's popular now. In fact, I can sit here and tell you the jeans I had on, they were from City Trends. My shirt was ordered off Amazon, nothing was dressy about me. My watch was expensive, my rings or whatever. But to be judged in that way because of what I have on, I know I would curse a bitch out at that funeral because you're looking at me all crazy and bitch, we sitting in a basement and you live in this motherfucking rat trap. I don't live here. Y'all be happy I'm trying to take your musty ass away from here, let you suck some dick in a good car somewhere. But anyway, I didn't want to have to cuss these bitches that way, so it just didn't make no sense.
You didn't want to cuss them. Well, don't come on here cussing at us. We didn't do it.
Like, what we do? We got you
It it's frustrating, which leads me to this one right here. And Tasha, you will appreciate this. Interacting is just flat out exhausting.
Yes.
Somebody says, I just don't want to have to interact with someone when I'm at home relaxing. Interacting with people is honestly exhausting. And while you think about that, Ms. Toria says, I say that all the time. You cannot meet a person at work. It's sexual harassment. You cannot say anything to a woman at the store, church, nowhere. So how are you supposed to meet people? Ms. Toria, I just don't know. Huh?
Church meetings is out.
No, they don't want you being in church
I wish that was true. I wish that was true. You're told there exactly, but now you're told that's not the time and place for it, and again, can you imagine me losing my decorum already? I have no respect for churches anyway.
We don't need that in church.
So exactly,
right.
So now can you imagine, bitch, we just sat up here listening to a crooked leg preacher preach, and now you're trying to blow me down. So now I'm gonna really cuss you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no.
brother Kennard. Welcome.
Hey, what's
How
up?
you doing,
What's
my
up,
brother?
fam? What's up, Kennard?
Tori said they say not online, you get catfished or dating app. And we're gonna come to that in a minute. But but it's exhausting. All of these things add up to just the fact that it's exhausting. I'm not even gonna go too deep into anybody disagree with that statement.
No.
I wouldn't say for me it's not exhausting. I think because I find sometimes meeting talking to women or just meeting different people is interesting to hear their take and just their background and just conversation. Okay. So I don't find it exhausting. Now I find it can be boring. Now if it's someone that the conversation is just as dry as a goddamn Popeye's biscuit, then then I'm Xing her out straight up. You know, we got to at least have a hold my attention. So no, I don't find it exhausting. Actually, I find that, you know, that's cool. That's the cool part of it. I like meeting different women.
Wow.
So
Tasha, I think I know. Go ahead. Tasha.
I say it's exhausting because I joke around. Well, I say it's black, and I think sometimes he thinks I'm joking or just being mean. But people have gotten much dumber. Like, it's so hard to have a meaningful conversation with someone because they rely so heavily on social media or on texting. So it's like they can't convey a lot of times what they're trying to say, or even have like a whole. They talk like they text, and I think if they could talk in emojis, they would. So
Tasha, you brought it up, so I'm gonna go there because this is one of the things, the lost art of talking. I agree with Tasha 1,000%. What I do for a living is I talk to doctoral level students, and you would think if you're talking to learners who are already have their masters, that the conversation would be heightened and elevated with a level of intellect. It is not. So somewhere in there, I actually have to agree with Tasha that I think, and these are professional people I'm talking about. So you can imagine what happens when you're not even in that professional arena. I'm with you, Tasha. The conversation is exhausting because it's so dumb. Because unless you're talking about the Beverly Hills Housewives or Suki with the good coochie, the moment you get outside the realm of pop culture to try to have a real conversation, it's non-existent. And I do find that like a pulling teeth, that I would have to stand there and be trying to extract information, because I think we've just like we don't write cursive anymore. We've lost how to. Kenny, remember the days when you had that great phone conversation with a woman on the phone for hours? You know, in that conversation, you found out about her background. You got to talk about yourself. And sometimes, oh my God, that was the best part of it. What happened to that? So for me, it is very exhausting. It's very tiresome. Miss Toria says, I feel sorry for people who are alone and want to meet someone. Well, the point of doing this show, Miss Toria, is please don't feel sorry for us, because a lot of this is intentional, and we just examine the reasons why we're single. You know, I can always laugh at what you said, Tasha. And Miss Toria says, of course, that church is, you're there for the word and not a dating site. Well, when they ain't talking about shit, you might as well try to fuck, because they ain't talking about nothing in church.
You know what though? I would have to disagree with Miss Tori on that. Yeah. I think if you're single and you're at church and there's other singles there, why shouldn't you try to meet your wife or husband at church?
They have single
they want you to be married, so why not? That should be the best place.
That's the way it used to be too.
It used to be singles nights.
Right, singles ministries and all that type stuff. So
well, I most of my adult life I was in the Kingdom Hall, so they didn't have singles night, but you damn sure, you know, went there to see all the single sisters, you know, and now you can't trust them bitches either. So you know, I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it as brutally honest as I know how. That, you know, now just because somebody said they serve God, whatever God they serve, you know, hey, they doing whatever too. You know, it is what it is. So that's a real big one right there. I think you'll appreciate this one because this is another one where I see myself on real big. My desire for solitude outweighs my despair of being alone. Yeah. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. My desire for solitude outweighs my despair of being alone. I'm gonna go first on this one. Tasha, you said I have an outgoing or extroverted personality. Here's what a lot of people don't know. That is the B side of me, believe it or not. I am extroverted and talk a lot because I have to. It pays my bills. When I log in at this desk in the morning, I have to talk. I get paid to talk. And even before working from home, I get paid. I make my money off of running my fat flapper. And that was even when I was in retail. I get paid to talk. What a lot of people don't know, I'm happiest when I'm alone. If anything, for a long time, I thought something was wrong with me because I want to be alone so much. And I relish being alone. All of the family I went and saw, that was a beautiful experience. All I could, I wanted to be home in my own four walls. When a perfect weekend for me is when I log off on Friday, if I close my blinds, close the drapes, and I live in total darkness. I like walking around my apartment with no sunlight coming through, no lights coming on. If I like candles, and I love being alone. Believe it or not, it takes a lot of effort for me to interact with people, but being alone is more natural for me. And so for me, that is the other part. I created something years ago where I tell you guys about 10 to 3. There is a method to my madness with that. I'd rather be alone, but I know sometimes I have an itch that needs to be scratched. So I've created a window. And as I've gotten older, that window has gotten shorter and shorter. When I was younger and I used to could stay up late, it used to be 10 and 3. I ain't staying up to 3 o'clock no more. Now these nasty, filthy, no good bitches, you got about 10 to 1. You know? Yeah, anyway. So much is going through my brain. What do you guys say on this one?
I'll say this. Sorry, me ice. I used to actually feel like I just wanted to be alone, honestly. And I think if Bert and I did not meet, I probably would still be alone. Because that was my mindset at a point in time. But now that when we did meet, my whole reality changed because prior to that, I was like, oh, I'll never get married again. I want to be by myself. My kids get older. I still be by myself. Like I don't need nobody else in my house. However, that changed for me, but that's really how I felt for a long time. So it can happen. But I feel like sometimes you can feel like that, and one person can come along and change your outlook on things.
Right.
I love that you added that last part because that's what everybody keeps telling me. I hear that all the time. Well, you just haven't met the right person. And when that one woman comes along, this, that, and the other, folks, I don't see it. But okay, Brother Kenny, what you want to add, my brother? I don't see it.
That, my desire for solitude outweighs my despair of being alone. I would say for me, I have been lying to myself for quite some time about being cool with being alone. And the last 3 years have definitely put life in perspective for me because of all the deaths that I have experienced in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And I have a fear of dying alone now. I have a fear of dying without that person that will be there for me.
Right.
So I'm at a point now in my life, man, I'm 54. Good Lord say the same. I'll be 55 in January. Mm-hmm. I do want companionship. I do want that special someone that can be there. We can be there for each other. But I also am, I always say this, follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Right. I'm not silly enough to settle just to settle either. Okay. Because I would be cheating myself and at that woman too, if that's not the one for me. So again, I'm cool with being alone, but I am sick of my own company at this point.
Wow. Wow.
I enjoy myself, but damn, I can give this to someone else too, so they can enjoy some of it too. So I'll be honest with you, I definitely would like some companionship at this point in my life.
Tasha, do you feel that way, sweetheart? You're younger than than certainly me and Kenny. Two things. Are you sick of your own company? Do you fear dying alone? Is
I
that a
do
real
not
thing?
fear. I do not fear dying alone. I truly and honestly do not fear dying alone. I don't. I I think I don't know. I think I went through and I did so much, like from
Hmm.
from the time I graduated high school, when I first, got into college, I think I did so much in such a short amount of time, way more than what I probably should have done.
Hmm.
That and then in conjunction, like with all the different jobs that I've had, to
Right.
where they've been so people centric, and even now it's so people focused that I I crave being by myself, because I know me. I'm not an extrovert. I am an introvert. I
Hmm.
am. I'm extroverted around people who know me. Like, if you know
Right.
me, I'll talk to you. But if I don't, I will just stare at you. I'm weird, okay? And I know that. And so for me, the whole like being by, like my desire for solitude, definitely outweighs my desire of being alone, hands down. But I know that that is a slippery slope too. That the more I continue to stay like this, the more set in my ways, it's
Right.
that much difficult that if that time comes and I do decide,
Right.
if I am ready to be with someone, it is going to be that much more difficult to open up to somebody.
I can tell you that is so true. Uh, Let me ask you, Hannah, was one of the reasons why you ultimately married, was this one of them? A fear of being alone, dying alone, and truthfully, were you sick of your own company?
Actually, no. Because I got my first marriage, I got married at 18. So I always was attached.
Okay.
Filed for divorce for the second time, I was okay being by myself. Like, I really was content on just finding myself again, because I lost a lot of myself in my first marriage that I didn't know myself. So when I became just me, a mom without an attachment, changed my name back, I was actually okay with being by myself.
Okay.
Casual dates here and there, but never really wanting an attachment. Like, even Bert and I, the only reason I think, you know how they say the lack of conversation, we
Right.
actually, that first night that before I dated anything, we talked for like 4 hours straight. So that's when I was like, okay, this is kind of different, but
Okay.
it still didn't evolve into anything at that moment, because we both was set like, no, like,
Okay.
so I didn't care about being alone. Like I said, I probably would still be alone if we weren't married.
Okay. I like hearing that in some, and for one of the reasons that really gives me a little bit of hope in hearing that is what you just said there a minute ago. Even though you had a 4 hour conversation, you said it didn't lead to anything right then. Y'all were still okay. I like the idea that maybe there's that possibility that maybe when I'm least expected, when I'm not even looking, that maybe that can develop into something. I literally watched a movie last night with Ryan Reynolds, and it was like a rom com, and it was so richly honest about how timing is wrong when you meet people. Sometimes it's off.
Right.
And when I think about this one right here, Tasha, I have been alone so long, I am set in my ways.
Hmm.
And it would take so much, I would have to give up so much of what I consider my freedom. I just don't know if it's worth it, for me at this stage. And so, like you, Kenny, yeah, I want somebody. I got health issues, and of course, I'd be lying to you if I told you that it doesn't cross my mind that, man, I could really die alone here. I could really find myself in a situation where I'm battling health and aging and this and that and by myself. And damn, is this all I'm got to look forward to, doing everything alone? And while that is scary, it's just as scary and maybe even more so of what I feel like I would have to give up.
Mm.
That part scares me just equally as well. And so that's why for me, I love being alone. I'm truly in this crazy place right now where I do love being alone, but I kind of want somebody, but I want a situationship I want it selfishly when I want it, and I just don't know if that's realistic anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen.
It is realistic, Black. I think the relationship that you want is what a lot of relationships are nowadays. You would be cool with y'all having two separate households.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you seeing each other every once in a while. And
Absolutely.
I think it's a lot. It's women out there that would be cool with that, because
I hope you're right.
They still want their own thing too. They want their space. They don't want to feel like they have to, to be catered. They have to cater to someone. So yeah, I believe it's that woman out there for you, brother. For that, you'll find her. Y'all find each other. Yeah,
that's the hope. Which this one was on the list, Tasha. I can't order relationships on Amazon. This was a real. It was a real reason, and I put it on the list to ask a question though. Do you think that technology, being what it is, us living post 9/11, how much is that hurt the need to be with someone when now, till this point on the list, anything we want, we can order it and it comes to our door? How much do you think this has hurt the need to even go out, to venture out, to go? Because there was a time when we had to go to a store to get things. But now, to your point, Tasha, I'll be damned if you can't. Tasha really kind of fucked me up a few years ago when we were talking about Amazon, and it was something small I wanted. I don't know if it was like staplers or rubber bands or something. And Tasha says, well, Black, order it from Amazon. I said, well, no, shit, I ain't gonna order nothing small. No, I just need one. She said, well, that's what you're paying for. She said, shit, I don't give a fuck. She didn't say it that way, but she basically was saying, I don't care if I have to order something small from them every day. That's what and it changed my whole outlook. But at the same time, guess what, Tasha? Guess what, Kenny and Hannah? It meant me going out less, because I'll be damned now if I need something to shave my head or some razors, I order it from Amazon.
See, I'm just still the exact opposite. My oldest son, Kendrick Jr., he's 30. That dude right there, do not go to the store for nothing. He orders everything through damn Amazon. You hear me? Everything. He orders his food. He don't go through the drive-through, DoorDash. I'm like, son, I said, son, when are you gonna go out the house, man? Come on now.
You got to. For what?
I'm the exact opposite. I still like to go to the store. I got to go out. I got to.
I think about it like this. For me, and this is, I can only say, for me, the benefits of, the benefit and the convenience of getting what I want, exactly what I want, even if the negative side is sometimes I may have to wait a day or two. But for me, it's the useless conversation. It's the empty small talk to have to, or the cashier that doesn't want to be there, that doesn't want anybody to be, that don't want to see a customer anyway. That makes it that much easier of a decision for me to just go ahead and just order it off of Amazon. And when the time comes, because it will, and you can order a relationship or a person off Amazon, you best believe you might do it.
See? But listen to what we're saying though, and that's why Tasha only goes out once a week. She doesn't have to.
Once a week.
She doesn't have to. Hi Stacy. I will say a couple of hellos. Stacy, good evening. How you doing, sweetheart?
Hey, what's up, Stacy?
Brother Charles, what's going on, brother? Good to have you here as well.
Charles?
And thank you for your condolences, Miss Stacy. Yeah, back home. Thank you so much. But yeah, Kenny, I go out twice a week and I used to go out more. Mm-hmm. I used to go out to Family Dollar and Dollar Tree, and quite naturally, when you out running errands, you stop here and you stop another place. And I used to actually meet women, but it's really shortened my opportunities, because I'll be damned if I order everything. I don't give a shit if it's rubbing alcohol and,
You order everything, huh?
I,
And
Wow.
you're paying more,
Everything.
every go ahead, Hannah. What you say, sweetheart?
paying more on Amazon just to stay in your house.
Not always.
Amazon is the devil. Amazon is the
If you
fucking devil.
compare the store, I look at people, a lot of them are resellers. Like I like a certain water at the store, I ain't gonna lie, it's probably $4. On Amazon, it's $20 for a $4 bottle of water I buy. So some
Okay,
are like you're jacking
I
up.
agree with you. I agree with you. There are some things that you have to go to the store for, but by and large, Amazon is the devil because it's damn sure gonna give you some kind of alternative that you can live with at a cheap price. And to Tasha's point, you don't have to get dressed, you don't have to burn gas, you don't have to deal with a waiter. I mean, a cashier, no bagging, no. And they fucked the game up because it comes directly to your door. And there's this, what's the word I'm looking for, Tasha? This intrinsic happiness that happens at knowing that you got something at your door every fucking day.
Yes. And Hannah, for it, if you don't want to shop off of Amazon, you can
Oh, no,
Instacart it. I use my Instacart. Deliver if it's heavy, like if water and different things, deliver it to me. Go to the store, pick it up, and bring it to me. There's very few things that I will still go to a store and just walk around for hours in. IKEA, I love IKEA. I will go into IKEA by myself and be lost for hours. The at-home store, hours.
I let it home.
Everything else, I'm going to Amazon for it.
That is
And
crazy.
Charles,
So Charles says, so you must be a Republican if you pay $4
$4
for
for water is not that expensive.
That is not that expensive at
Oh,
all.
yes, it fucking is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
I ain't
yes,
paying
it
no
is.
damn $4 for
Bottle
no
of
water.
water though.
I'm not paying no $4 for
Thank
no
you.
damn water.
I'm with Charles on this one. I ain't saying you're
Are you
Republican, but
serious?
Yeah, I ain't
good
saying you're a
God.
Republican, but I ain't
so
paying no
judged.
$4.
And he asked the right
Jeez.
question. Are we talking about one bottle of water?
You want me to show you the bottle?
Yeah.
Please let me see what
Yeah.
this damn bottle looks like.
Is it like
I'll be
alkaline
right
water?
Can you turn it into wine like Jesus?
Thank you. Thank you. Cause $4 for one bottle of water?
That's
Baby.
all I want to know. Can you turn it into
No.
wine?
Yeah. I'm saying it. You're
You
Republican.
thinking about the wrong thing.
I don't know. Well, see,
Yeah, I'm good.
and
on
that's
that.
worth $4.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that is
Black.
good water.
I guess so. Y'all,
Yeah, it
y'all
is good
uppity.
water.
Y'all done turn in these uppity Negroes now. Y'all got to drink $4 bottled water. Y'all some more
Okay,
uppity Negroes
so-
now.
So you see, this is a Tropicana jug.
Yeah.
I let my water run in my sink for about 5 minutes to make sure that all of the impurities get out of it. I pour it in this jug and I put some ice in there from my refrigerator, and it tastes just as good, and it's free.
Well, we have a water cooler too for the kids.
So then why you?
So they
Because
have
that's what she needs. It's a special water.
yeah,
She needs that.
God bless
All
you.
right.
God bless
All
you, baby.
To each his own.
Y'all said shit. $4. I better not be thirsty for the rest. I'm with you. Hey, you know what? This conversation adds to one of the reasons why I'm alone. Because again, when you take on a woman, you ain't even got to be a wife. But if you take on a woman, she gonna be coming in this motherfucker thinking that I'm gonna be having $4 bottles of water, and that's just too much.
No, because I buy my own stuff.
I get. Yeah,
So
I'm not. It's not even. It's not even about who paid for it. That I would look at you side eyed if you were sitting there drinking a $4 bottle of water. Like what? The fuck, really? Like really? Like really?
I don't know why Black is saying that. He's just as bougie as he want to be himself. So.
I'm not bougie on that level, Tasha.
he said my
No.
wash were very expensive. Did you not say that?
I get it,
Okay.
baby. I bow to your greatness. I bow to your greatness. Let me get a couple of comments in here. Victoria says, I am sorry. I'm going to the store and pick out all my own things. Do not hardly ever use those online things that you young generation want to order online. I go to farmers to get my veggies. I do like to go to the farmers market to get my veggies. So those are things that it does make me go out, Miss Toria. But Tasha has ruined me. I do order a whole lot more shit online than I ever used to before.
A lot of farmers, I don't know about like where Toria is, but a lot of farmers do have their own websites now where they will ship the stuff to you. So I just wanted
See,
to
she's
throw that
constantly
out
looking
there too.
for a reason. Stacy says, "No, I boil my drinking water with all the contaminants." I know I should, Miss Stacy. I just take my chances. Toria says a $4 bottle of water. I get a whole case of water for $4.98 at Sam's.
It's not
That's
the
what.
same. It's not
That's
the
what.
same.
It all go down the same chute. Charles said to my future wife, "If you want a $4 bottle of water, I'll get it, but I'm clapping cheeks." Definitely clapping cheeks, cause. But look, this is why when you select somebody, I bow to your greatness. You know that going in.
Right.
That's a full.
Everybody's bougie in their own,
I agree. I
everybody's
agree.
bougie and
That's
luxurious in
true.
their own
I
lane.
agree.
Some people are like, like
I
more
agree.
like luxury brands, different things like that. Some
Right.
people are bougie when it comes to food. That's me, heavy on the food thing. Very bougie when it comes to
I
food.
agree.
Some
I
are
agree.
travel bougie. You just got to find your bougie and just stick to it.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
I
Tasha.
couldn't have said it better. No, I agree with you 1,000%. And even women I've been with, they had their little idiosyncrasies, Absolutely. Victoria says, "No, I want to pick it out, squeeze it, feel it, go to the local butcher for my meats."
I go to my parents'
Ocean
house and
spray cranberry juice. You do what, Tasha?
I said I'll just go to my parents' house and shop because
See, everybody don't have that
My
luxury.
sisters
Yeah.
do that.
Who the fuck?
I just reallocate supplies from one house to another.
Who else has that luxury? We're going to go about 10 more good minutes, but I didn't want to leave without discussing this one. And this is the other main reason why I'm still single. Let's just keep it real. The cesspool that is the current dating pool.
Mm-hmm.
And look, we can be idealists if we want to. This is me saying this because I want to hear you guys' opinions. I say this all the time. They're just not making quality people on trees anymore, as they say. There are attractive women and there are attractive men everywhere you look, for sure, no doubt about that. I used to say, well, I don't like New York women. They aren't feminine enough. Over the last few years, as I've been going, New York women have really upped their game in terms of looks wise. Like they don't trot around anymore in just boots and shit and baseball caps. They got they dressed, nice looking, it ain't just tennis shoes. They look good. Now, the thing of it is though, and Lord knows here in Atlanta, they got some of the nicest looking women to me that I've ever seen. Just beautiful women walking around, but it's a shell. And I never thought I would get to a point that I am now where when I think about the list now of what I'm looking for, do you know physical attractiveness? It falls in number 4 or 5 now. That used to be number 1 used to be you had to have a fat pumping ass. That was non-negotiable. That's now negotiable. That actually is now. Don't get me wrong, I prefer, but truthfully speaking, the physical attractive. The number 1 thing on my list now is hygiene and personality. Those are the things that for me, so that empty shell. So what's out there, I just don't like what I see. What about you guys when you Kenny, I'm going to say you for last, Hannah, but Tasha and Kenny, how much does this play a part when you look at the general dating pool out there? Are you excited? Are you encouraged or discouraged?
I'll let Tasha go first.
I will say this: it's not. I don't feel encouraged. Like when you see like what's out there, but then also what's even more discouraging is that you hear what other people are valuing and what they're looking for and what they're prioritizing, because everything is about appearance, not just like, not just the physical, but just also it's the appearance of having way more, or that you have more going on than what you really do, or that a lot of people are searching for this influential lifestyle that is unrealistic. And a lot of people will never obtain it, and if nobody's ever told them, you're never going to get the lifestyle that you want, that you see other people having, because what's for you is supposed to be for you. And a lot of times, especially with dating, people are so quick to try to force themselves into, certain areas, that they compromise who they are, or they take on these other habits of people that just, like, who wants to be around that? And for me, that makes it even easier for me, because if I'm not going to do like certain things, I'm not going to wear certain things, I don't see, I'm not going to go to a club to do bottle service to make it seem like that I have money,
Right.
so it's definitely a cesspool. That's putting it nicely.
I tried to be nice. Here you have a young woman that's attractive. Look at the picture, folks. And she says, definitely feels like I'm picking through scraps. Charles says, you accepting applications?
Girls, go sit down.
No,
I'm
decline.
really not. I'm really not. Charles says, dating is not hard. It's 50-50, at least from my perspective. You just got to be selective and ask questions. My brother, you may have more options. I'm not encouraged. Where are you at on this, brother Kenny? Are you encouraged when you look at the dating pool?
I'm not discouraged by looking at the dating pool. I'm discouraged by the communication between black men and black women. It's a war against black men and black women when it comes to love. I still think the actual dating, there's prospects out there that I find attractive. There's still a lot of attractive black women out there, but it's just the war against black love about who hurt who more, who we ain't doing this, who ain't doing this.
Gotcha.
Black women just going at black men, disrespectful, black men being disrespectful to black women. So that whole discourse in dating, it has totally changed the game. I don't even want no part of it. I'd rather sit on the sideline and let them go at it. I'm just like, it ain't even worth it at this point.
I can agree with you on that too. And Charles was asking about applications to Paige.
I knew that's who he was talking about.
I didn't connect the dots.
Yeah.
She gonna break his ass. Get him, Paige. Break his ass.
Paige ain't no joke. Paige ain't no joke. Charles, Hannah is off the market. But here's what I do want to ask you, even though she is off the market, because my question to you is, when you look at the date, how lucky or fortunate do you feel?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
I'm being so serious.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Stories, and even the weirdos that try to talk, because clearly having a ring don't mean nothing nowadays. There's no way in hell I would be dating right now. If we didn't find each other, no way. Like, I just be hearing some of the conversations. Talking to my friend the other day, she still live in New York, and she was telling me the conversation she had, and I'm like, what? Like, how did y'all get from hello to something crazy like that in 5 minutes? Not even the next day. And it's like this dating pool, and I feel sorry because I got a son that's 17, but my daughter, she's only about to be 12 next week. Mm-hmm. So she got to grow up in this mess.
Man. And that's what's daunting to me, is that, Kenny, I don't see the discourse changing right now. It's getting worse. If anything, now maybe it will run its course, and somewhere the pendulum will swing back. But right now, we are at each other's throats. We're arguing about whether we can take a woman to fucking Waffle House or Cheesecake Factory. Are you serious?
Yeah,
exactly.
You going to the Waffle House?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I feel like
yes, Tasha.
Social media has really ruined good relationships. I believe there's good people out there, but you got people sitting in their grandma's basement arguing and yelling and telling you what you should think. Women who are not even having the luxuries that they do claim they have to say what they want. So therefore, they let a lot of this social media nowadays take you away from how they really feel. Because a lot of people on social media are lying. They are lying. They're frauding. They're fake. I was out at brunch on Sunday. People was trying to act like they had all this money. I go to brunch. I don't have a problem with that. But the level of fakeness in that building, from the fake luxury brands to the fake people's trying to scam credit cards, it's ridiculous nowadays. So I feel like people let social media dictate their lives, which is ridiculous. Because before social media, we were able to talk to each other. We were able to communicate without having other people in our ears. We went to our friends and family, but we never had a bunch of people worldwide in other countries and states telling you how to live your life.
I agree, and and again, that's what makes this conversation so appropriate, because it's just we're not providing answers. We're just talking about this, In the background, they bringing it hard. Charles say, bring it on, Paige. I'm insured with great credit score. Paige said,
Charles.
Paige say, y'all better tell him I'm not a walk in the park. So look,
she is
it
not.
is what it is.
No,
she ain't no joke, Charles. She ain't no joke. Toria says, that's what I say about my granddaughter. She's just turned 11 and has to grow up in this crazy world, let alone date. Miss Stacy says, most of these women nowadays are gold diggers and want what they see on social media and on reality TV, and we know that it's not real. That's a facade, this is a free forum. Charles say, I ain't faking shit. There's a cap on how much I'm spending on a first date. Hell, I might not even like you. I'm assuming that's what he says. He said, hell, I might even like you. Torre says they sure do be telling
stay in your
people
lane,
lies on
Charles.
social media.
Wrong lane.
Exactly, Stacey. So we got time for one more, but I just want you guys to see some of the list, that there's all kinds of ones, and I'm going to pick one that I want to talk about as well. But on this list, it was talking about the difficulty of online dating. We know what that's all about. There was another one on here that I thought this one I could have went down this rabbit hole. This one is appropriate for me. My shit just ain't together right now.
That's appropriate for me too.
When I'm being completely honest, there's things I'm fixing about myself right now to be even worthy of some. I joke a lot. I'm worth about a good night. That's about what I can give right now. I'm not even in a position to be that dude right now. I got too much shit going on my own. Another person says, frankly, I just don't care anymore. Someone said, I prefer my own company over that of others.
So they cool. Alone.
This is another big one. I mean, who I like, they don't like me.
Yeah.
And the ones that and the ones that like me. I tried these social media sites. I'm on Facebook, app, whatnot, and and the bitches that be picking me, I can't do nothing with them.
I'm like, man, what the hell? I'm like, what?
I'm just keeping it honest.
I feel you, Black. I'm not going to even say nothing on this.
Well, look, I'll say it for you.
I got some stories on this one right here.
I'm gonna say it plain as day. I'm fat. I got missing teeth. I'm bald headed. I got health issues and everything. But when I get to a point where I can't get me a quality piece of pussy, I might as well lay down and die.
You know what?
Come on, brother.
I'm done.
I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say it. But the last one, there's a list of like 22 things, but the one I want us to cover as we end out on this one is, I think this one for me will kind of draw everything in. A strange mix of pickiness, cynicism, and preference. because we've been talking kind of all around this. You know, Brother Kenny, you talked about the fact that, you know, you want to be with somebody, but you just ain't gonna settle for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Cynicism. Lord knows if that don't describe Miss Tasha McMack, I don't know what does. You know, and preference, all of us, you know what I'm saying? We like what we like.
We like. Yeah.
We like what we like.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good one to end on, because my question I'll ask as I close out, is that too much to ask for? Are we being, you know how we have lists? We want this, we want that. And being real with ourselves, think about this as you close out. Are we asking for too much at this stage?
Nope. Nope.
Tasha says no.
Nope.
I'm saving you for last, Hannah, because I'm gonna ask it for you in a different way. Kenny, are we asking for whatever your thing is you're looking for? Because you always say, I want somebody that gets me.
Yeah.
How realistic is are you asking too much? When you're playing basketball with a retarded kid, you can't call double dribble on the motherfucker. You gotta let some shit go.
What?
You can't call him retarded either, Black. God. That's before we get to the double dribble. You can't call him retarded.
Boy, that was a hell of an analogy, Black. That was a hell of an analogy.
Look, okay, forget about the fact that I wasn't politically correct. Whatever the term is for the retards out there and shit.
Oh my Lord.
But if you playing ball with them and they're dribbling, ain't going yet. You gotta let some shit go.
I get what you're saying, but the analogy, yeah, that was a little extreme, brother. But I get what you're saying.
Shout out to all of my retarded
No,
people.
stop. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
It's late now.
Yeah. This whole question went downhill.
No,
that
okay.
whole question went downhill.
Lord.
It's just fun. It's just fun. Kitty, are we asking for too much?
I don't think. No, I agree with Tasha. I don't think you're asking too much for stuff that you particularly like. But I will say you have to be flexible. There's just something, you're not gonna get everything in one person. Let's be honest. That one thing that you want, all that you want, you're not gonna find that in one person. So just be flexible in those things. But you know, I always stick to your preferences, though. I always say that. Stick to your preferences.
So in this last one, then, where this strange mix of pickiness, cynicism, and preference, how much are you willing to give to be with someone? How much are you? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. This is just, you know, rhetorical.
Right.
How much are you willing to give to not be single? Tasha already said that for her, it's not asking too much. Hannah, you've conquered. You've climbed Mount Rushmore and you found that person. You jumped the room and I'm married now. I'm married now. You know what I'm saying? But I got a question. I got a question for you. How much do you feel like you had to give up in this arena when it comes to that mix of being picky, having a natural cynicism of, am I going to get what I want in this person? How much I'm going to have to give up? And all of the preferences that whatever that is, got to be this tall, got to be this thing. How much did you have to give up to get that person?
Well, I'll say this. I was very picky. I did have a list, what I thought I wanted. I always said, well, y'all know Bert Light. I always said I would never date a light-skinned man in my life. That clearly changed.
Damn.
I'm loving this answer already.
I said I would never date someone 5 years older than me. That changed.
Mm-hmm.
But however, some things in my list I had to realize was kind of like, girl, like be for real. However, I don't feel like I gave up a lot. The only major change I had was leaving my home in Philadelphia and moving to North Carolina. That was major because my parents have been down here for over 15 years now.
Okay.
I said, oh, I would never move down. They've been trying to get me. But when Bert Job moved him down, I didn't have a choice. Well, I had a choice because we weren't married at the time. But I already stated before we moved, where is this going? Because I'm not giving up a home my own, which I still I'm not giving up a home my own to move here and we just gonna be dating around.
Right.
So I already specified what I wanted and what was realistic, and I already saw where we were going. But I feel like that was something it was a good change because now I'm here. I would never go back to Philadelphia. But if I was set in my own ways and said, well, I'm sticking to this, I'm gonna stay here, I wouldn't be happy down here. Like I would still be stuck in that city, which is crazy as hell now.
Okay.
So I feel like I gave up, but I was a good give up. Now looking back on it, I'm happy I got up my own mindset and took a leap in the chance.
Now,
But
and
you
so
don't always have it straight from your list. I'm not saying straight from your list.
I loved your answer,
Don't
and you gave real examples, and close it out for us that haven't found what you found. So you gave up some things. Clearly, you stated them, but what did you gain?
What? So no.
and you was flexible, like, and that's what I said.
Right. That's why I needed to hear this.
You were flexible with your
I
list.
needed to hear this.
You wasn't stuck on it. Got to be this, and
right.
This. You were flexible in that. Yeah.
I can actually say that this is really my best friend because I was never allowed to be me. Like I was never able to just be Shahana. Like I had to be this or this. I had to be stuck being a preacher's kid, being married. Like I never was able to just be me. And giving that up, I can be me. Like I could be in the store and one aisle singing Michael Jackson, and I'll see him in another aisle and he joining me. Like we can do that. I was never able to do that. So coming out of my own mindset and changing how I felt about certain things, I can actually say I have true happiness. That's why I said if anything happened, I would be single. Because the first time I married, because I was told, this time I married for love. There's nothing else I have to give anyone else out here. I'm just being honest about myself. Wow. So I would never make a sacrifice again. I don't care who it is. It's just how I feel now because I feel like I made the right ones and gained a lot. We gained a bigger home, everything. Like we gained a lot of combined, and we still managed to know how to be together, but still be individuals because you can't lose yourself within being a couple.
That's right. I'm glad you said that at the end, Hannah. Yeah,
very
good point.
Can I just say this? This is one thing. When and if for me, because I've had to adjust my mindset. But when and if the time comes that I decide that I am ready to, to be with someone, for me, one thing that I'm gonna say, and the way that I would look at it, and what I would ask for in this sense is, give me what I need. Like I'm asking God to give me somebody of what I need, not necessarily what I want, because we see what I picked when I picked something that I wanted. It wasn't the best, okay? So give me what I need, okay?
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that, Tasha.
Yeah,
I like that.
Know what we need though. Sometimes we
I like that. But that's what's cool about it. She said she asked God. That's what I really like about it, because you don't know how much that hit home for me, Tasha, because one of my saying is God see around corners and in dark places. And I feel the exact same way, that sometimes we want something. The job I wanted, this was the job I needed. I didn't know my health was going to be what it was. The job I really wanted, I would not have been able to do it. It would have required a lot more travel. So to hear you say that, God give me what I need. I really, really like that.
Yeah, I do too.
I really, really like that.
I love that.
And Hannah, man, while I'm cynical, you always manage to give me a little bit of hope, Not a little bit, a lot of you give me some hope out there. Because again, that's why I always say you guys are my favorite couple, because you're real and you're going through it in real time with all of the challenges that face single people today. So I appreciate you sharing that. Brother Kenny, you want to add anything before I close out? Because again, I wanted to close out on that note. Very, very good stuff, ladies. I needed to hear that.
I think this was a great show. I think this, and then it's funny. It's holiday season, and this is the time of year, especially when you're single, where you do feel alone, especially if you're not really around family, and but then you see all your friends and it's coupled up, and they going to eat at each family's house. So the holiday season can be a tough time being single. But again, I would say to all those in the singles group, like myself and Black and Tasha, if you cool with being single, that's okay too. That's not bad. If that's how you want to rock, that's cool. But those that want companionship, stop lying to yourself if you really want it. Stop fronting out here like you say you cool with being single. You know you want companionship. There's nothing wrong with being loved and finding love and someone loving you and you loving them. So if you want that, put yourself out there, and see what happens. Take a risk. Take a risk.
I love it. I love it.
You can't win if you don't. You can't win if you don't play.
I don't disagree with not one word you said, my brother, and I appreciate you saying that. And you stole a little bit of my thunder. Where I was going to end this at is that, and only in this sense, I'm in a different place mentally on November 15th than I was in previous years. Because to your point, Kenny, Thanksgiving traditionally has always been one of the most depressing times for me, because I do associate it with people eating with their families, this, that, and the other. Well, I've been home for a couple of times. I've seen enough of family that I need to see. I pray to God that the next time I have to think about family, it's going to be somewhere in the summer of 2024, because that will mean that everybody survived winter. They're doing well. Health-wise, they're doing good. So, and with that said, we know that Thanksgiving is next week, next Thursday. So I do want to pass on to folks that we're probably going to take a nice long hiatus, Tasha and I, the same way we talked about it on TFG tonight with Brenton Haynes, because I want to give that time back to the viewers, to everybody, to be able to enjoy family. And for the first time in a lot of years, I'm not going into the holiday season sad. I'm happy. I'm feeling full. I'm looking forward to my level of solitude, believe it or not. I don't plan on cooking. I don't want any cooking. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be at home, but I want to make sure that we leave on a high note. So, yes, I plan on doing a show on Saturday, and I plan on probably closing out next Wednesday with a nice, powerful show. And then I am thinking, unless something changes, that will probably be the last show that we will do for the end of the year. I hope that I want me and Tasha to go away and recharge our batteries.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and just enjoy. See, for us, this is some of our favorite time of year for different reasons. The weather is changing, all these things. So I wanted to just kind of share that with you guys. So absolutely, I'll close out. Miss Tori has a great she said, God's going to send you somebody when he thinks you are ready to have someone in your lives. From your mouth to God's ears.
Thank you,
and
Tori.
like Tasha says, in that sense, God knows more about us than we'll ever know. So I agree with Tasha 1,000%. Send me what I need.
Right.
Send me what I need. Tasha said. So look, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Tasha and I both know, and all of we all know it's just, but we on the other side of Wednesday night, folks. So take some solace in that. Enjoy getting rest. And I'll close by finally saying I want to thank everybody for the support. We started this show by saying this has been a tough year for all of us. We've all facing some unique challenges. We've lost loved ones. And this little family here, it means so much to me, more than you guys will ever know. So I love you. And
love you too, brother.
Appreciate you guys. You guys have held me up in so many ways, and I pray that you continue to do so. And I hope I'm inspiring. And any of the crazy shit that come out of my mouth, it's just jokes. you know. So I truly don't mean to offend anybody.
Right.
Believe it or not, I love people. I don't always like them,
Right.
but I
Oh
actually
yeah.
love people.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
and that's the truth. You know, I actually love people enough, but you know, so yeah, Miss Tori, definitely see you Saturday. Everybody enjoy the rest of the week. Have a great night. You know what I'm saying? And so till we see each other on Saturday. And Tasha, we'll plan something fun. I want to do something musical. Music always lifts the spirits. So
Yeah, that'd be something
you
good.
know, Kenny,
Yeah.
you be posting that dope shit about music.
Yeah.
We're gonna do something musical. So if you guys can make it out there, pop in Paige. Thanks for keeping popping in a little bit. You know, I want to get you on the show. Charles, when you coming back on live, my brother? Miss Carol and Tori here, y'all are
Right.
welcome to come on camera.
Stacy. I think Miss
Oh my
Stacy
God,
was
absolutely.
yeah, was
Please,
in there.
but if you
Yeah.
can't come on the camera, thank you for continuing to show up. Terrence, as always,
Terrence,
support is
yeah.
appreciated. And
Yeah.
so thank you guys as always for supporting the show. This is a labor of love. Appreciate you. Everybody be good to each other out there. Be good to yourselves and have a great night. You know, a little bit says a lot. I love you a little bit. Peace out. Y'all have a good night.
Peace out.